So this story can't be real, right? It can't be real that in America they're banning the Bible. I'm in my hotel room in Dallas. I've been watching this story now for days, and it is real. This is a real story, and you all can feel free to share. I'm going to put this up here. I hate the camera on this particular laptop, but I'm sorry. This is what we're stuck with. But can you see where it says censored there? This is a real story. And for those of you who really are not watching it on the news, because the news is not covering this story, I'm going to try to read this to you. So I'm going to read a couple of short snippets. I've got too much work to do down here tonight, but I really am disheartened as I watch this and follow this story because it's real. The California Assembly has passed a new bill, Assembly Bill 2943, which will ban the sale of the Bible. Yes, you read that exactly right. The sale of the Bible is about to be made illegal in the state of California. And the vote wasn't even close. The bill passed 50 to 18. That's not even a narrow vote. 50 to 18. 50 to 18. It heads to the Senate next week, where it will certainly be approved, and then to Governor Jerry Brown's desk, where he is certain to sign it. The bill would make it illegal. Now, it doesn't really just carve out the Bible, but it's the breadth of this bill is absolutely astronomical. What it will do to churches, and listen, it's anti-constitutional. The bill literally trumps on free speech and freedom of religion. And the bill said it would make it illegal to engage in a transaction intended to result or that results in the sale or lease of goods or services to any consumer that advertise, offer to engage in, or do engage in sexual orientation change efforts with an individual. Basically, they're saying if you're selling something that selling someone propaganda or the Bible or literature or self-help books that says homosexuality is unhealthy or you should change sexual orientation, then it's illegal to sell it in California. The change efforts are then defined as any practices that seek to change the individual's sexual orientation. This includes efforts to change behavior or gender expressions or to eliminate or reduce sexual or romantic attractions or feelings toward individuals of the same sex. Emphasis, they added their own emphasis there. The Bible is the book or good, to use the language of the bill, that clearly teaches that with God's help, homosexual behavior can be changed and sexual energy can be reoriented or redirected towards biblically sanctioned relationships. And I would never read this whole thing. It's actually a very good article. I'll try to post it underneath. Matter of fact, I will. I'll post it underneath this video. But what we're seeing happen here in California, the Golden State, is kind of the boilerplate for what we expect to see happen in the more liberal states throughout the United States. And it's ironic to me that California is falling apart. I was in California April last year, I think. Yes, April last year. I think that's right. And if you haven't been to California in a while, parts of the state absolutely phenomenal. You know, I've skied at Lake Tahoe, both on the Nevada side and the California side. I've been up to the Redwood Forest, Northern California, driven up and down Highway 1, some beautiful sights in California, flew out to Napa Valley, I don't know, years ago, and stayed at a bed and breakfast out there, went to some of the wine country, Contagere, went to the place where they make champagne, and California's a beautiful state. And what's sad is, and the rest of America needs to realize this, that the breadbasket area of California, the places I just mentioned, with the exception of, well, there's some other areas too, but there's about 6 counties in California that really control the entire political climate there. And so the hardworking conservative people in the other areas of the state, now there's some Southern California issues there too, but those aren't Americans in Southern California. They're mostly illegals, and I don't think they should be here. But really the state is controlled by about 6 counties, and theirs are up and down the coast. But when I was out there in April, I want to use some worse words, but I won't. The feces problem was really out of control, where the homeless people live, right beside a lot of the sidewalks, just the major areas. People had tents set up. There's a lot of homeless people there. So it's ironic to me that the state that's saying we need to redact God from society and take religion out, it has one of the worst economies now in the United States, and one of the worst homeless problems, one of the worst drug problems. Let's just see how this works for you, California. But I do think in light of these types of things, it really is time for Americans to say no. And how do we say no? We can say no with a level head for a while, and we can say no until it doesn't work anymore. And then it's time to emphatically say no. Then it's time to emphatically push our position. And that's coming. I don't know when that's coming, but I know that that's coming. So anyway, feel free to share this. Just amazing what's happening in California. They're trying to trample all over our Constitution, trying to make freedom of speech and freedom of religion illegal. This one's going to end up in the Supreme Court. Jerry Brown needs to be hung. That's what needs to happen.